Okay, so I'm Eduardo Rivara from Facenote, and what we have been doing for the past 3 years or so is been using facial recognition and biometrics to enhance the loyalty experience of retailers and retail customers. So what I've been going to be speaking about in this session is how we shifted from frictionless personalization and loyalty into frictionless payments. And this is something really, really new that we have been doing for the past 6 months. So, as you know, more than half of the world is still underbanked or unbanked. So, especially in Latin America, Caribbean, and many parts of the world, we are still seeing a lot of cash in the way how people interact and pay for their goods at convenience store, at coffee shop, at retailers. And especially nowadays, this is becoming a very, very risky thing, not only because of secure reasons, you don't have any kind of rewards or loyalty programs, you have friction. So we started thinking, how can we use and somehow the biometrics and the technology that we have to help all these people pay in a better way and interact with retailers in a better way. So we started thinking, what would be the perfect payment method? A payment method that would be simpler than paying with your card, simpler than paying even with contactless, even with QR. Imagine a payment method where you only need to be you. So basically no phone, no card, no cash, nothing. So it would be basically like having all the benefits of a credit card, but without having nothing. And what would that be? So that would be just using your face. So the idea behind this that we started working with Visa, with some banks over this year, was just being able to pay by being yourself, by showing up. So all of us have experienced what's called invisible payments, like using Uber. You jump into a car, you travel, then you get off, and then everything is paid for. You don't even need to take out your phone. And that's called invisible payments. And we've been asking, how can we deliver invisible payments for your retail experience, for your coffee experience, for your gym? And that is basically what we do. We enable retailers and stores to be able to charge without anything, just using your face. So let me show you a little video of how we imagine the payment of the future. This has been done in Argentina at a coffee store in Buenos Aires. So this is a video. It will be a little bumpy because of the conference call, but you will get a good idea. So the customer enters the store, asks for a coffee, and she's asked how she wants to pay. So she said, I want to pay with my face. So that's it. She validates her face, and that's it. The coffee is already paid, and she can walk away. And the best thing about this is that the next day, when she walks, or she enters again the coffee store, she is immediately recognized by name, welcome, and tied to the CRM. So as you can see here, this type of experience is really, really frictionless. It's a type of payment where you can experience this type of invisible experience, invisible payments experience. So how it works is very simple. First, due to privacy regulations, and of course, you need to interact with your customers since the beginning, we ask the customers to take a selfie to open their what's called the Selfie Wallet. So they create an account by taking out their phone from the coffee store, from the retailer's app, and they can snap a selfie. Then, as a second step, she can load some money into her wallet. So how she can do that? Many ways. We've been working with Visa to use any type of card on file, like tokenization. We can do an ACH integration with a bank. We can even load it with cash. So for customers that are unbanked, they can just pay like a Starbucks card. They can use their cash to load their Selfie Wallet. And then that's it. They can be able to pay just by using their face at that store. So that's the way it works. So how is the technology working behind all this? We are basically a SaaS company. We enable everything that's needed to join and to unite the three key aspects of this technology. That's the merchant, the client, and the issuer or the bank. So the merchant only needs to have an iPad, for example, or a tablet. Then the customers only needs to have a mobile phone. So maybe the coffee store app, for example. And then the issuer, the bank, or the wallet, we need to integrate through an API to do the transaction secure. So it's a very, very basic SaaS integration that enables any store or any merchant to accept facial payments. So as you can see, it's a faster technology. It's faster than any payment method out there. It's simpler and it's as secure as any existing payment method. So the way we charge is basically we charge a monthly fee for the issuer to retain all these biometrics and all these customer biometrics in store. And then for the merchant, we have a freemium model where they can start accepting payments. But then if they want to join this experience into their CRM, we charge a monthly license for this integration. So how we arrived to this? So far, we have been working for more than 3 years, as I told you, by recognizing customers for a loyalty program. So it's the same type of experience where you enter a store, you are recognized, but you weren't able to be paying for the goods. So now we just added this new layer of facial payments. And we've been doing so far really good at some stores in Miami, New York, Brazil, Argentina, and Chile. So basically this was trying to shift these retailers from traditional stores where you enter, you take out your loyalty program card, or you type your email, into some kind of experiential store. And it's been working well. Basically was trying to add frictionless personalization to these big stores. In this case, it's in Chile. This customer, Sheila, was entering a store and she was being welcomed by a huge screen by name. So let me show you a small video as well of how this technology evolved from frictionless personalization into frictionless payment right now. This is in Chile at Studio F, it's a Colombian brand. Sheila is immediately recognized by name, hi Sheila, and then we notify an associate that Sheila, or a VIP customer, is there. She's a great customer, so we connect with the CRM. And in this case, it's at Melissa Shoes in Disney World. Mariano is recognized, so he has a scratch and win thing on an iPad here where he earns $15 off, and then we can show the associate his name and previous purchases. This is in New York. It's the same type of experience for a brand called Philosophy from Coty. The customers are recognized and offer a personal discount or gift, and then we connect to the associate and we show previous purchases as well. So this was what we called frictionless personalization. And from this experience, we evolved for the past 6 months into frictionless payments. The traction so far has been incredible. Only during this year, we won the Visa Everywhere initiative. We got the 3rd place for Latin America and Caribbean as the best fintech. And we've been helped by Visa to achieve this type of credit card integration into facial payments. We are also doing a pilot for a bank here in Argentina to be able to pay for your coffee at the main branch. And we did some pilots with Verizon in Brooklyn for their 5G implementation at a store. So it's been growing so very, very fast. We really believe that facial payments are becoming a huge, huge thing, and it will be increasing over the next year. As you can see, the trend in the world is being increasing for facial payments. It's believed that over the next 5 years, it's going to replace QR payments completely because it's simpler, it's faster. So any technology that is better and faster, it will always survive and will replace previous technologies. So you not only see this in China and Japan, you can also see this in Europe. BBVA is launching facial payments in Madrid. Some banks like Santander and Privat Bank are implementing also biometric payments. Nestlé, the food brand, just is trialing facial payments in Spain as well. So we really, really believe that this is going to be the next wave in payments. It's going to be huge. So we are just helping retailers to adapt and integrate this type of technology. And if you still think that this is something a little from the future and it's just something too far ahead, think again and look around you, look at what people are thinking about using cash, about touching credit cards, about touching any type of surface for payments, and also see what your kids are doing and what our sons and kids are doing. And basically what they are doing are selfies. Everybody is taking selfies, is loving to show their face and to be recognized and to have some kind of personalized experience when they interact with their retailers. So this is Facenote, this is what we do, and thank you very much. So now I would be answering any question that you have. Yeah, sure, Henri, this is a great question. Henri is asking how to make sure that my data is safe and not used by third parties. So this is a great question. The way that we do this is that our core technology at Facenote and our key mission is to recognize customers. But the way that we do this is when a customer enters a store, we recognize a face and we just know that the ID number 12345 just entered the store. We don't know what that customer name is, what his previous purchases are. So what we do at that point is we connect with the store CRM through an API and we say, hey, customer number 12345 just entered the store. What do you want me to show him? And then the brand notifies me, hey, this customer, you can say hi and read to him. You can offer him a 20% discount on a pair of shoes or a suit. So what we do is we delete all that information, and that way we can work for compliance, both from the retailer point of view and from Facenote. So we don't store personal identifiable information, and the brand doesn't need to know any biometrics from the customer. So we keep isolated that information. So Ricardo Manriquez is asking if we had any false positives and if you had any an experience charging wrong customers. So we just started piloting this with two banks, and one in Argentina and now a new one in Brazil. So what we have done with the bank is for the payment, we added a 4-digit PIN. So ideally, when you use biometrics, you always try to have a 2-factor authentication. It can either be having your phone on your pocket, or it can be a 4-digit PIN, or any other means for securing the ID. In the case of false positives and false negatives, yes, that's something that you need to take into account. But by using 2-factor authentication, we have achieved very, very good rates of security. In the end, it's just the same as having your debit card in your hand, because we achieve like 99% accuracy with a couple of pictures and a couple of cameras, and then we raise that to 99.9 or 99 by using a 4-digit PIN. Hope that is answered. And then I have another question here is how you make, so sorry, going back to that question, there is one more point that I want to address. The more you need to balance between security and the experience. So we can ask much more from the customer, like, hey, take out your phone, validate your purchase. But if you go too far ahead into trying to identify him, you will ruin the experience. So in the end, it's always a balance, but we, of course, make sure that the payment part is completely secure. And with this, we are working especially with Visa, with their fraud management software. So in that case, we not only use security for biometrics, but we also add fraud management from Visa. So there's another question. This is a funny one. Will twins can use this feature? And yeah, the answer is yes, because we as humans see twins as very, very similar, but for a computer vision technology, from a computer vision perspective, twins are not that much alike. They have very subtle differences from their face and eyes and measures that we can tell apart from two of them. And of course, having the 4-digit PIN will help a lot there. And there's another question is from Waits Lee, is how to make sure that my customer is being correctly identified. So this is a very similar question. In this case, we've been operating for the past 3 years very, very securely. And of course, by using two-factor authentication, you can achieve very, very high rates of security. So in this case, for example, imagine that you're a big retailer and you have this technology in place. We can not only know that the customer is at the store, but we can also use the geolocalization from the phone and a 4-digit PIN. So you have very, very high rates of security using this technology. Basically, it's higher than using your fingerprint, it's higher than using other means of identification, and it's absolutely frictionless. So that's the beauty of it. So here we have a question from Irene. Don't you think people are getting more cautious about not to show their face everywhere after Facebook front? So great question. Yes and no. So depending on the generation that you are targeting, this might be an issue, especially for my generation. And we are very worried about sharing our face. But in this case, as we are using biometrics from a privacy first point of view, our company was started as a privacy first company. So you always need to take a selfie to participate, and any moment that you want to get out, you just opt out. This is very important for GDPR. So when you start working with, for example, younger customers, like under 30, this is not a concern as long as you are very transparent with what are you going to use their face for, what are you going to use with their information, and if everything is correctly anonymized and secure, there is no problem about using this technology. So far, we had more than 12,000 selfies taken and customers enrolled, and our churn or our opt-out rate was extremely, extremely low. When the people are the one that choose to participate, they usually don't opt out. They like what we do. So basically what you need to do is just take care of being transparent and anonymize any information, and basically don't store information about the customer. We just store a number, and that's it. So we have a question from Guillermo Gasparini. He's asking, he's mentioning how simple this technology is. Thanks for that. In terms of setting it up, do you think it would be for a small retail store? By the way, it's a great idea. Thank you, Guillermo. So yes, so we have been working with small retailers like Melissa Shoes in Miami, for example, some shoe stores. And the idea is that any small retailers or the long tail of retailers can use this technology just by purchasing a tablet, basically. So they need to have a commercial available tablet or like an iPad, and then a regular connectivity, internet connectivity. So you don't need extreme high bandwidth or very expensive servers. So yes, we try to keep it simple. We try to keep it cheap for retailers and not very expensive to implement at stores. Because in the end, it all depends about the return of investment at store level, right? So thanks for that question.
If people want to hit you up, they can get you via email where, or would you like them to connect with you on LinkedIn? What's the best bet?
They can connect me at LinkedIn by Eduardo Rivara, or they can just write me at edu, like edu, edu at facenote.me, and or just enter the facenote.me website and ask a question at the info.